I think it was my 30th birthday. I asked for a power washer from Nadine. She was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" I was like, "You know what? I want to be able to wash my own car. We own the house now. I want to be able to like just clean things around the house, outside and stuff like that, the driveway, the garage, things of that nature. I want a power washer." And she got me one. She got me a Ryobi power washer for my 30th birthday, and it was the most adult gift I think I've ever received.
Yeah,
And
no, I've turned that corner, and now I want like a good tool for Christmas or my birthday. That's why I got the air fryer for Christmas. It's like this is the convenience is better than any toy or any thing that I could get.
all right.
The mileage is better.
Getting a good power tool or just a good like machine. Oh my god, you just feel, honestly, I feel a little more manly. I felt very manly out there just power washing. It was the most mundane task. I'm just power washing my garage and my driveway, but I just felt so like, I'm a man. I'm taking care of my property. I'm cleaning it. Look at how clean my property is now, and mwahaha. And that's yeah.
And ignore that you were afraid of spiders in that box earlier.
Oh my god. No, actually, yeah, because I'm super afraid of like the bugs and the spiders and things of that nature. But actually having the power washer in your hands, it really gives you the power. It really makes you feel like you have the power, because there were several spiders that started crawling out, because I power washed their webs down or whatever, and like a couple of them flew out. Power wash away. Bzz, gone. You're gone. A few bees started flying towards me. Psh, gone. Power washed away. Ah, felt so good.
I've been meaning to ask, Chatwin, how's that bug zapper working for you? Chatwin's got like this real industrial bug zapper in his yard.
Oh. Have you gone over to visit the Chatwin recently?
No, he showed me a picture.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I'm jealous. I'm very jealous that you guys live in the same. Oh, damn, it's right there, huh? Look at that.
It worked out really well.
Yeah, it's like one straight out the movies.
The mosquitoes are walking to their doom.
Yeah, it's very satisfying hearing the thing just go off randomly in the middle of like when you're watching TV.
I'd imagine so.
So I haven't had one actually like run into one in weeks now. So I think the problem is solved. But
nice.
I would be vegging out watching TV, and keep in mind that thing is actually pretty freaking bright at night.
Yeah.
And I'd be just about to go to sleep, like right in that in between, like you're floating down like the chocolate river of sleep.
Yeah.
And then that thing will go off and it'll shake you out of it, and you'll be like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, because it's loud. I mean, you've seen those tennis rackets that are electrocuting bugs.
They're loud,
right?
and they're very small.
Yeah, so I would just be like real relaxed, watching somebody stream or something. And then out of nowhere, just wake me out of a dead sleep. But no, I haven't had to deal with them in a while.
I'm excited for you to hear that zap and then hear like a and just see like a falcon fall from your roof.
Something big.
Bald eagle.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of bald eagles, this is going to be a weird segue. I have the lesson for this week, and you might notice something a bit different about me. Usually when we start our podcast, I have some sort of hat on. Today, nothing beneath the brim, and that is because I will don my hat when I start telling you guys about my lesson. So get the theme song ready, Vid, because today, on this week, I'm putting on my tinfoil hat.
Oh no!
I
Perfect.
have a conspiracy theory to tell you guys.
Ooh!
And I'll leave the theory for after the theme song. So
before the theme song, real quick, can I just compliment your hat? Is that a baseball cap made out of tinfoil, or is that what we're going for?
Yeah, it is. And the tinfoil's kind of flattened it, so it looks more like a beret made out of tinfoil.
Yeah, I was gonna say baseball cap or beret. I'm not sure, but either way, you're emulating something, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm glad I got tinfoil at Sam's Club because I used a whole ream trying to make this.
Oh God. Everything is everything.
Flying through space. Boom, the star explodes. Now it's water sports. More water sports. Then we're seeing a guy come off a skateboard ramp. Boom, now it's the match game theme song, and you see David coughing on some smoke. Okay, now we're watching a car go through the LA highway in the 40s. Now we're gonna focus on a cat for a little bit. Then boom, match game theme song. Here's me pointing at an orb. Now we're going quickly through a German museum. We're gonna see some people drawing, and we see a time lapse of flowers going. Boom, match game. Here's Chatwin not giving the bird, just smiling. Then let's see what's next. The orangutan taking his clothes off, and sunset.
Everything.
All right, I think I summed up the theme song pretty well, at least the video.
Is that what you were doing? You were narrating.
Oh, could you not hear me? Yeah, I was trying to remember the clips.
I heard you talking, and I was like, maybe this relates to his lesson, and he's gonna tell he's leaving something cryptic under the theme song for someone to find it.
That would have been smart.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
I was
like some kind of Da Vinci Code thing, or like someone had to go back and I was like trying hard to listen to what you were saying, but I was like,
that would have been a good idea. No, I was literally the clips from the theme song video. I was trying to remember from just scratch. Oh, what did I put in this part? Anyway, so here we are. Welcome you, and welcome you. And
thank you.
As you see, I have a shiny hat on today because I have a very important, dangerous conspiracy theory to share with you guys. And I'm keeping this on so the music industry doesn't take over my mind and try and wipe out this important information. I'm sure you guys are wondering what this is. Now, I'll tell you. You've heard of the rapper named Kanye West.
Indeed.
Formerly known.
Yes, Ye. I will be referring to him henceforth as Ye. You've heard of the rock and roll singer Bob Dylan. Yes?
Yes.
What if I told you they are the same person?
What?
Now, I was expecting that. I know. And I expect a little bit of skepticism. That's to be expected. But I have written out a several-page-long thesis that I will get into now. So, the thesis, of course, Bob Dylan is Kanye West. This is not like, oh, they're very similar. No, they are the same person. And I defy you to find a picture of them in the same room. I sure as hell couldn't.
Interesting.
Oh my God.
So let me get into it. Bob Dylan,
Please.
having experienced a 40-year career of rises, falls, and comebacks, reaches a creative plateau in the early 2000s. Bob Dylan decides to collaborate with the music industry that he has challenged and received plaudits from for so many years to change. He changed rock and roll. Now he's going for a different genre, hip-hop. So he elaborately plans out a multi-decade-long career for an alter ego of his, Kanye West. Now, like Batman and Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent and Superman, to be an effective alter ego, you have to be as dissimilar to your subject as possible. If Batman acted like Bruce Wayne, people could tell. They would, call it out. So, Kanye West, as a personality, could not be more different than Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan is notoriously private. He never writes any songs about himself. Any interview that he's had in the past 80 years is literally just a gauntlet of this man trolling an interviewer by either thinking of something else to say or just flat out lying. Do you mind if I read an excerpt from an interview that I found?
Please do.
Okay. This interviewer, February 1966 of Playboy, asked the hard-hitting question, "Why did you decide to become a singer?" And this is Bob's answer. Carelessness. I lost my one true love. Started drinking. First thing I know, I'm in a card game. Then I'm in a craps game. Wake up in a pool hall. Then this big Mexican lady drags me off the table, takes me to Philadelphia. She leaves me alone in her house, and it burns down. I wind up in Phoenix. I get a job as a Chinaman. I start working in a dime store and move in with a 13-year-old girl. Then that big Mexican lady from Philadelphia comes in and burns the house down. I go down to Dallas. I get a job as a before in a Charles Atlas before and after ad. I move in with the delivery boy who can cook fantastic chili and hot dogs. Then that 13-year-old from Phoenix comes in and burns the house down. The delivery boy, well, he's not so mild. He tries to knife me, and the next thing I know, I'm in Omaha. It's so cold there. By this time, I'm robbing my own bicycles and frying my own fish. I stumble onto some luck and get a job as a carburetor at the hot rod races every Thursday night. I
As
move
a
in with a high
carburetor?
school teacher. Who also does a little plumbing on the side. Ain't much to look at, but who's built a special kind of refrigerator that can turn newspaper into lettuce. Everything's going good until that delivery boy shows up and tries to knife me. Needless to say, he burned the house down, and I hit the road. First guy that picked me up asked me, well, why don't you want to be, how about if you want to be a rock star? So I said yes. So that's what you get when you try and ask Bob Dylan a simple question like, why'd you decide to become a singer?
That
Gosh, you gotta love those old Playboy interviews.
That's amazing.
It's cool.
I would love. Was that published only in written form?
I think so. I wish there was an audio of it.
I would have loved to hear how he said that, because I imagine with things like this, like the way you say these things is, I mean, the things he said are obviously insane and just wild and crazy and random segues from one to the other, and then I wound up in Utah somehow. But I think like the way he said it probably made it like 10 times funnier.
Yeah, knowing him, he did it dead serious. Like I did it a little more like a Ron Burgundy type of thing. I'm sure he was very morose, and every time you mentioned a house burning down, he acted like it was a family member died.
And took took like a lot of pauses, and like it was very somber probably when he told.
And if the reporter laughed, if the reporter laughed at something, Bob would glare at him for a minute and go, "What the fuck are you laughing at?"
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And you guys know Kanye. I mean, on the last track of College Dropout, he has a 10-minute explanation of how he got to where he is. And it's not, it's real life. It's basically him saying, okay, and then, my mom and I drove to Chicago and I met Jay-Z and this is what I said to him. And anyway, extremely personal, leaves everything on the table. Not to mention, I'm sure you guys can draw from here. They're very different guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, why did they do this? Why do they have to be so different? Well, because it's a gamble. BobYe, and the music industry need this kept secret. To have this blown open would eradicate the people's trust in everyone. So,
it's true. Actually,
before I get into
society might collapse.
Things would crumble. Now, when I first wanted to do this episode, I was just going to talk about how their music careers are strangely similar. And then I stumbled upon this huge conspiracy, so I had to break it open. But I do want to talk about their music careers because there is something interesting about it. Many interesting parallels between their music, but after a point, their chronology gets mixed up. Bob's 10th album resembles Kanye's 5th album. Bob's 11th album resembles Kanye's 4th album. The timelines get wonky. This is on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bob, I'm going to start referring to him as BobYe because they're the same person.
BobYe, okay.
BobYe rightfully knows 1 + 2 is always going to equal 3 no matter how many times you plug it in. So recreating his exact same career, it will not only be boring for him and end in similar results, but it might just blow his cover. People might start getting suspicious. So, after the first 3 albums, because with Bob and Kanye, the first 3 albums got him in the spotlight, got him selling records. After the first 3, he starts mixing shit up, plucking from different albums and eras to maximize Ye's popularity and minimize it when necessary. So, let's get started, shall we? College Dropout and Late Registration are the exact same as the Freewheel and Bob Dylan and The Times They Are Changin'. Their debuts with polarizing new sounds. Bob was the first person to really popularize folk rock. Kanye was the first person to do that like high-pitched chipmunk sound with hip-hop beats. And they both had socially conscious lyrics. Both of these, socially consciousness wasn't that popular in hip-hop at the time, and it was non-existent in rock and roll at the time, and it worked. It got large audiences.
What do you mean by
Third
socially
album.
conscious?
Okay.
Because I would say that you could say Tupac and stuff and Biggie were rapping about socially conscious issues.
I wouldn't say Biggie was
Issues?
rapping about socially conscious stuff.
Probably
I would
not,
say, and
no.
also that the majority of Tupac's, although Tupac did dabble in it, I would say that the majority of his output was more gangster rap.
So what is
And-
socially conscious?
Well,
Like Macklemore.
think of Jesus Walks. Think of, it was,
Like
Thrift shop?
Yeah.
let's,
Like
sure.
Same Love, isn't that the Macklemore song, or One Love, or what is it called? I think One Love. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
songs like All Falls Down on A College Dropout is essentially about how a woman wants to adopt materialism and get, thinking that buying more and looking better is going to help her, when, just rapping from the perspective of a woman in general was not being done in the early 2000s. Look at Dr. Dre, The Chronic 2001. It's, or Diamonds from Sierra Leone is essentially about the dangerous blood diamonds, the whole complex of the jewelry system causing so much death. And,
In Africa, yeah.
And Kanye also criticizing himself and other rappers for partaking in this. And
Roses.
Again, that's another thing. Tupac did talk about his, had a song called Dear Mama, but I feel like, Kanye was less ashamed to be seen as a mama's boy.
Right.
I'm just looking through the track list now.
I mean, he continues on in his other albums too. I'm thinking of other ones from other albums that spring to mind, but I don't know if you want to bring up other albums just yet.
Well, it does come up later, but
Right.
I would say that compared to his compatriots, Kanye did start more political, and actually that goes into my next thing. And Bob Dylan speaks for itself. He was first known as like a protest singer. He was singing about
he's always been political.
the Vietnam War and stuff.
Right.
And here's the thing. He was, and then at a certain point, both Bob and Kanye get criticized right around Graduation and Highway 61 for focusing away from that. Because, I'm just going to read my paragraphs. Both Graduation and Highway 61 Revisited have a new sound that skews the sound of previous albums. Kanye stops using the high-pitched chipmunk beats as much. Bob starts picking up the electric guitar, starts using less acoustic-only songs. And the socially conscious lyrics start fading out for more broader topics. They contain some of the artist's biggest hits, Can't Tell Me Nothing, Like a Rolling Stone, Stronger, Good Life, Ballad of a Thin Man.
Ballad of a Thin Man.
From Bob Dylan.
Oh.
I'm giving from two of them.
Yeah, okay. I yeah, sorry. That's
You didn't know that Ye song? Come on, David. He opened Kitsy Ghosts with it. So this is by far their most popular album yet, and it signifies a paradigm shift in music for both of them. Bob Dylan's Highway 61 is considered by many the start of the 60s, just ask Wikipedia. And Kanye, this is me reaching a bit, but do you guys remember in I guess it was high school, freshman year high school, where there was a competition between Kanye and 50 Cent to see who sold the most records?
Yeah, it was Graduation and
Curtis?
Yeah.
And Kanye beat 50 Cent handily.
Oh, yeah,
it was a landslide.
Yeah, blew him out the water.
And this essentially...
Wasn't it... Sorry, wasn't the bet or deal or whatever that whoever sold the most albums, the other one had to stop rapping or something?
Yeah, and of course that
it was
that
a
was
joke.
just bluster,
wrestling, right?
But it did kind of happen in the sense that G Unit and 50 Cent's, 50 Cent never made a a single on the top 50 again.
Right.
This was the decline of that type of music.
Yeah.
And Kanye and the Kid Cudi type of, Wikipedia called it alternative rap, if you need to put a label on it. But, there was a shift in the type of hip hop that was being made.
Mm-hmm.
So, both big albums for the two respective guys. We move on. 808s and Heartbreak, Nashville Skyline. This is probably where I first thought of this idea, because I thought it's strange that they both decided after this big success to change direction so much. Kanye, 808s and Heartbreak there's no rapping from him. It's all singing in autotune.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Dylan did the same thing, except there's moving away from any type of political lyrics whatsoever, does a straight country romance album, not using his regular voice. He has like a Kermit the Frog voice for the entire thing. And believe it or not, both worked for them. Like, at this point, they were still untouchable. People were like, okay, there's a weird change, but I'm picking it up. This next one, Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Blonde on Blonde, they're both considered some of the best albums of all time. Check, your Rolling Stone albums list. They're both probably in the top 20. And they both have iconic album covers. They're both good. Moving on.
Well, I would say that. Hold on. Well,
all right.
I mean,
No. We're moving on.
No, please.
Really?
Go ahead, Challen.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Well, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy came out right after Kanye was in a ton of hot water. Like, nobody liked him.
Oh,
and then he came out with that album, and it totally was
because he was the Taylor Swift
himself.
incident happened. Right.
Yeah, he had been on Manic episodes multiple times. He did the George Bush thing, which pissed a bunch of people off.
Right.
Like, George Bush hates black people, next to Mike Myers.
Right.
People did not like Kanye. I wouldn't say that he was on top at all. He was on the bottom and came out with a banger of an album.
Well, the thing is with, bottom maybe in the cultural perception, but the albums never stopped selling good. That comes later. But you're right, is that he was, I would say, a punchline at that point. After the Taylor Swift incident, he even says on the album that, audio footage leaked of Obama calling him a jackass. So, if anything, that inspired him to make a better album. Same happened with Bob, with Dylan going electric. That was in the albums, but for a while, his concerts were still acoustic folk concerts. That's how he got his main audience. And then at the Newport Festival, I want to say in 66, somewhere in the mid-60s, he plugs in an electric guitar, and people start throwing shit at him like he's Fozzie Bear. Like
I heard that. That happened to Neil Young as well. They were pissed when he switched over to electric.
They're calling him traitor in like the front row. Like they're literally rebelling in front of him. And with both Ye and Bob, they come back with an album so good that the criticisms, maybe not go away entirely, but people basically brush it aside because the music's so dang good.
Right.
And now, of course, the one thing I will say that they have in common, even if you believe in the theory or not, both BobYe hates keeping his audience comfortable. He's never going to make a Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy 2 after Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy 1, which of course he doesn't do. He moves on and makes Yeezus. And Bob moves on and makes an album.
Favorite album of all time. I hated Yeezus.
Wow.
Hated it.
What?
Yeah. I did not like it. There was like 2 songs that I liked. And you know what? If you listen to it again, for me, it just doesn't age well.
It's my favorite. It's
really?
top of my list.
You're joking.
Over Beautiful. No. And let me explain. I get a little bit into it
right
here.
Now?
No, I legitimately am not. It is
in terms of favorite. Are we gonna? Is that our activity? Are we gonna rank our favorite Kanye and?
We can do that real quick. My activity was I compiled a bunch of YouTube comments of either Bob or Kanye. And I want you guys to guess.
That's fun.
Love
That's more fun.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay. Let's just say real quick our favorite Kanye album. 5. Okay, but here's the thing, because I want to do two. There's two different versions, right? Because there's our favorite, and there's the ones that we consider the best. Because I consider My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy probably his best album, but my favorite Kanye album is 808s and Heartbreak. So like, that's two very different things. Like
I like that better. Let's do
808s is
favorite
my
and best.
favorite. Yeah, because 808s is my favorite, but I definitely acknowledge it's not necessarily his best album. I think it is like top 3 or top 5 for him, but I don't think it's his best. I think he has better albums as a whole, but yeah, so those are my two. My favorite is 808s and Heartbreak, and my album I think that it's his best overall is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Chatwin, what about you?
I would probably concur. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is probably, it's super listen toable, like re-listen toable. It's kind of timeless. It's got a bunch of really good features on it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think second place for me is probably
place. Your favorite, and then the one you think is the best.
I think the best one's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. My favorite,
and your favorite
is probably Graduation.
Nice.
I hate
That was
to
gonna be one of my
basic,
picks.
but it's
no, that's a good one.
Not at all.
I mean, every song is pretty damn good. And then 808 and Heartbreak. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say best is Yeezus. Favorite is Late Registration. Since Chatwin took Graduation, that was going to be mine, but I would say then Late Registration.
Honestly, it's kind of wild to me that you think his best album is Yeezus. I mean, it's a good album, but it's. I think now, like every song is a banger. It's just straight banger for sure, but it's just. I don't know. Wow.
I can't even. I wish I could mount a defense of why I think it's best, but it's one of those things where music is a type of thing where it's so personal. It's tough to say why someone is right and someone is wrong. It's one of those things where it's, and you can't quantify something being the best or the worst, because one man's flaws could be another man's good points.
Yeah,
strengths. That's what I meant. Strength. I'll edit that out.
Right, so I'd like to change my answer. Jesus is King is his best album.
No, fuck you.
Oh, God.
We're down to 2 hosts now.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not a bad album.
I know. I've given you shit about that. Okay, so let me just.
Should we do Bob Dylan
Watch
too?
the Throne was a damn good one too, but that's. I mean, I don't know if that's considered.
That's a collab album. I don't know if we consider that.
I know.
Yeah.
See, I like it.
It's banger.
Yeah.
I think I over-listened to it, so now it's like, I don't know. I listened to it too much, and I may like the Kid Cudi collab album a little bit more. Maybe it's just because I think I like shorter albums. Maybe I have a bad attention span. So what Bob did is similar to what Ye did, kind of. That compared to their last masterpiece, Bob made an album called John Wesley Harding, which, for the first time, there's no personal to it whatsoever. Like, even if Bob Dylan is trying to keep it very obtuse, he is still writing from the perspective of Bob Dylan, the writer. And this is John Wesley Harding, the album, is a bunch of sketches of different characters. Like, basically, the setting is in the Old West, and each little song, there's a song about John Wesley Harding, which is like a supernatural type of almost messianic hero cowboy. And then there's a song about a man running into a slave who's trying to escape plantation. Then All Along the Watchtower, which I'm sure you guys have heard, is from this album, which is about the Joker and the thief. And anyway, it's a total. It's cool. Like even Bob more of a left-hand turn.
Not Jimi Hendrix. I guess I should have known that it was a cover.
Hendrix had this habit of, really into his fellow musicians, his like graduating class of 60s musicians. As soon as the album came out, he'd listen to it and work on covering the songs that weekend. Like, I think when Sgt. Pepper's by the Beatles came out, within 3 days, he played a concert in London and was playing the songs. And the Beatles are in the audience going, how the fuck did he do that? We just, the album came out 2 days ago. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Hey Joe, I know that's a
So-
cover too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think so.
So the other thing that these two albums have in common, there's a return to the first couple albums. Now, it doesn't immediately jump out to you with Yeezus because a lot of the production is in the way. These are probably some of his most political songs since Late Registration and College Dropout. New Slaves is one all about how capitalism basically keeps even rich black men like Ye buying and buying more expensive stuff because they know, materialism is kind of hard baked into the hip hop model. Then the whole second verse is about private prisons that are essentially, legalized slavery, where prisoners, not in the public prison system, but the private prison system, are working for, half pennies on the dollar doing work, making wallets and shit.
I always
And
thought it was really
Blood on the
poignant when.
Leaves.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna Blood on the Leaves, Black Skinhead. They're both, for an album that is abrasive as Yeezus, it's interesting to me that he did have some political things to say, and messages beside "I am a god." Sorry, go ahead.
I always thought that in New Slaves, like a really poignant line was like black folks broke the chains of slavery, but then now wear gold chains, and that's now like their new form of slavery in a
Right.
weird way. I don't know how he said. Obviously, he said it better, but
No, you're right.
Really, that line has always kind of stuck with me. It was like, you're back to wearing chains again. I guess they're gold, which makes it better, but
I know Spike Lee gonna kill me.
Yeah.
And that Kanye was looked down on for trying to get into the fashion industry unless he picked the cotton himself, which is speaks for itself. So, and for Bob Dylan, who since for the past 3 albums has been doing electric guitar and getting criticized for it, John Wesley Harding is all acoustic. There's some drums and stuff, but it's back to acoustic guitar, where people would say, we can't hear your lyrics at concerts because the electric guitars are so loud. So goes back to acoustic, and this is where it kind of switches. Yeezus was another big hit, maybe not as big as Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but was a commercial success. John Wesley Harding was Bob Dylan's first flop. Didn't do anything. God, I have... Thank goodness that Ye only has 10 albums, because this would really take it out of me.
Doesn't Bob Dylan have like 35 or something?
Yeah, he literally he has at least 3 times as many albums that Kanye does. So Kanye has a while before I can kind of link all of them together. Kanye is going to be in his hundreds before at this rate, before he catches up. And I'll get to that. How the time stuff works out. I'm skipping Life of Pablo. I didn't have anything interesting to connect. Going on to Ye. Ye by Ye and Self-Portrait by Bob Dylan. One, they're kind of the same title-wise in that, this is an album about Ye. Self-Portrait is, the album cover is a self-portrait that Bob Dylan painted of himself. Both of these guys around this time of their fame. Can you hear us, Chatwin?
Chitty chat.
Can you hear us?
We see you.
Yeah, you're not frozen anymore, chat.
Chatwin. Oh, Chatwin. Chat WIN.
Can you hear us yet? No.
Win chat. Win.
So what should we do? Should Chatwin exit and then enter back in?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe should we take this opportunity to play a song while we figure out these technical difficulties?
Oh yeah, I have technical difficulty song. So
I actually have a fun one as well, but if you have one.
Okay, go ahead. No, you do yours. So what should we do? Should
I think he should just leave and come back. Where did he go?
I think he went to take a shit. I don't know.
All right, folks. While we work out these technical difficulties, please listen to this song, which is. Oh, hold on. Please listen to this song, which is "The Times They Are Changing" by Bob Dylan, but sung by AI Kanye West.
Did you really find that?
That's not the one. Yeah, I did. Hold on.
I can't believe I didn't look that up.
Come gather around people wherever you roam,
Oh, that's weird.
and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. Give your time to
If that's a little too uncanny, I also have. There's a song by Bob Dylan called "All Along," right?
I don't know. Dude, he has 500 songs. I'll say yes.
Here is "All Along the Love Lockdown" by Kanye West and Bob Dylan.
There must be some way out of here.
Oh, that's All Along the Watchtower.
Say the joker to the thief.
This one is not as good.
It is
There's
not.
too much confusion.
I will preface this by saying I did not preview these.
I like the effort for sure.
Some writers and critics who
All right. Well, that's been our.
It's been our radio
attempt. Yeah.
radio segment.
Entertainment.
If I had to guess, he's like restarting his router or whatever.
I need to think of what I'm going to do for my episode.
Oh yeah, you going next week?
Here it is.
Yeah, I had to
guess so,
reboot
I
my
guess so.
router. My bad. That sucks.
Eric called it. Oh no! It was all a lie. Shit, I'm the only one unprotected. No.
The music industry is gonna get you, dude.
You might as well go make yours, David. Do you have tinfoil in the house?
Of course.
Go make it.
Put the power washer on your head,
Yeah.
David.
All right. Give
I'll
me
give
2
you
minutes.
a second.
All right. Do you use around the house? Do you use a lot of tinfoil?
What do you mean? That's kind of a strange question. It's tinfoil. Really?
I don't. No, I've been because the baking sheets. For some reason, my air fryer can't use tinfoil, or maybe it can, but it was
That's weird.
discouraged. So what I do with my baking sheets, I just wash them regularly. And ironically, I got my air fryer because our 40-year-old oven finally crapped out, and it was too expensive to fix. So I had gotten a Sam's Club 5-pound pack of tinfoil before that. So now I have all this tinfoil.
Is it
that
like
I
the
really
heavy duty
wouldn't use.
tinfoil too?
Yeah, it's like to bring the box out to make this. It's like a heavy ass box. So
Too much tinfoil to deal with.
now I'm just thinking maybe I'll make tinfoil. I'm gonna make sculptures or something. Make weird
Yeah.
little men.
Put
place
some
them
paper
around the
mache
house.
over it. A really famous artist used to do that.
Do you know?
He
the
was a
name?
French guy. You'd start with making a sculpture out of tinfoil and then squish it all into whatever shape you're trying to do. And then you put paper mache over the top of it. So it'd be like this kind of clay thing. Yeah. I could probably look it up.
Cheaper
Did you
than
guys
clay.
stop recording after
Oh.
or after I left?
No,
Okay.
we
cool.
kept it going.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're all good. You're all good. I'll apologize. I realized that I called St. Viator about
Yeah.
our tiles, and then the lady, she told me the office hours. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go this week, and I put it off, and now they're
Oh.
closed. So
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's completely torn
are-
down. It's rubble.
and there was just smolder. Yeah, there was just
Jesus.
smoking rubble, and I'm kind of under the impression that maybe because she said they'll be back in August, so I'm thinking maybe they're not demolishing the whole school yet. Like maybe I do not even know, dude. The blacktop is demolished. The playground is still there. All the buildings are still there. So I don't know why they'd start with just the blacktop.
What is that?
You have a little silver turd on your head, David.
Instructions unclear.
It's like a little boat.
I
Okay.
like it, huh?
It's like a little silver yarmulke on your head.
No, I don't want to be a Jew.
Too bad.
No, it's on the front of my head. It's a silver mohawk. By the way, sorry I took an extra few seconds. I got a little something that I think Chatwin especially might appreciate.
Oh.
Cool.
Is that Lamborghini Countach?
1985 white Lamborghini Countach.
Countach?
2 of them. I need a slow motion video right now.
Damn.
Yeah. Cue the. By the way, that song is the only reason. Hold on.
Okay.
David's gonna come back entirely in tinfoil, like the Tin Man. Just crinkling every tiny movement he makes.
Sorry. Ow.
You're good.
Ow. Ow. The foil's like digging into my head.
Yeah, you don't have any hair to protect you.
That song is the only reason I got 2 of these 1985 white Lamborghini Countach.
Oh my god.
I had to get 2 for the song. But anyway, so they have a small version. Sorry, I'm talking really loud. They have a small version, and now they just released the large version. So that's what I just got.
Nice.
I'm excited to see the time lapse. So we're all safe from the music industry. They're not going to invade our thoughts. They tried to take Chatwin down. They tried to erase his Wi-Fi, but he got back. He's back on top.
I got my little hat on. We should be good. No more interruptions.
David may suffer some contusions from the tinfoil scars, but
I don't want to compare myself to Jesus, but this must be what he kind of felt like thorns in the head, kind of. But,
yeah,
you know, I will suffer for the 3 people who listen to our podcast. we are the 3 people.
Yeah, I was gonna say looking at right now. So speaking of Jesus, I'll head back to Jesus for a second. Both of these guys were on Ye the album right now and Self Portrait. Fame was getting to them. There's too much attention on them. They're always being hounded by paparazzi. People know where they live. They both move to isolated locations. Ye goes to, Wisconsin or whatever, gets like a farm in the middle of middle America.
Yeah.
Bob goes back to Minnesota. Was
that Yeezus time? I thought that was Ye time.
Oh, that's Ye. I'm talking about Ye.
Oh, you're talking about Ye? Sorry.
And they decide to strategically deflate their own hype. They're like, you know what? At this point, we need a not good album. So Bob, his album is Self Portrait, which is kind of like, you know, if a fan made a crappy mixtape of like weird throwaways, but it's Bob Dylan making a crappy mixtape of himself and he counts it as an album. It's all like covers and then like a bad live versions of his popular songs. And then there's a song called Alberta that he has on the album 3 times, and they're not that different. It's not like, you know, oh, this is the long version. No, it's the same song 3 times. The fans hate it. It deflates his hype. It works exactly as it hopes. I don't know if Ye meant to deflate his hype purposefully, but I think for his mental health, it was a good choice, because this is right around all the Trump shit. This is when he's saying slavery is a choice, and a lot of the, you know, they're hangers on around the Life of Pablo era that are now starting to fall off. And I think, if anything, probably a good point. And also, for a Kanye album, it's ridiculously short. It's 7 songs. And it's, in my opinion, not that focused, because I think he was spreading himself too thin, because that was that summer where he produced his album, Kids See Ghosts, the Pusha T album, the Nas album, and the Tiana Taylor album. And at that point, it's like, you know, there's scraps. There's scraps to be had. So some of that ends up on Kanye's album. Moving on, because the last half, this one's obvious. Both Bob and Ye had a Christianity phase. They both got heavy into Jesus, then eventually got out of being into Jesus. Bob went one album longer than Kanye did, and probably BobYe realized 2 albums is enough. 3 albums of Christianity, people are really going to stop caring.
God rock.
Finally, there's Vultures. Yeah, God rock and God rap can only go so far. And finally, Vultures is equal to Street Legal by Bob. They're both the divorce album. These guys are now fully divorced. They're horny. They're a little spiteful, and that shows
They're
up in the
older
music.
too.
I don't need to say anymore. Yeah, exactly. Now they're middle-aged dads
they're
who are
grumpy.
divorced. And they're, and I can't stress the horniness enough. They're like, dick still works, guys. I need you to know in the music that the dick still works.
What is Bob's horny phase? Because
Okay.
we all know Kanye's.
Bob, well, I'll tell you, I actually made a playlist of BobYe that I'll put in the link when this episode goes live. But I could show you the song. There's a song called New Pony, where it's a very clumsy metaphor for his old pony was his old wife, and his new pony's got a big ass. And so...
Would you say that Kanye's old pony had a bigger ass than his new pony?
They're breaking new ground on the types of ponies that
we're still
Kanye's
talking about
fighting.
ponies, right?
The old pony got her ass dissolved, so it's smaller now.
Some of that ass went to the glue factory, and this metaphor is collapsing in on itself.
Kim Kardashian is a horse, right? That's what Kim Kardashian's a horse.
Who the hell's Kim Kardashian?
Got her.
All right, I'm getting a little hot. I'm taking the tinfoil.
Careful, Eric.
For a second.
Oh
no! Hello, Everything is Everything podcast. This is Erik speaking, and I'd like to give a note on conspiracies. I'd like to say that this entire theory is in jest, concocted out of the love of 2 of my favorite artists. Any evidence I put forth is for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken seriously. And now I will put my hat back on.
Thank God.
Guys, what happened? I blacked out for a couple seconds. I felt like my hat was taken off.
For a second there, you were FBI Rick. You weren't yourself.
Man. The female body inspector Rick?
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly.
Shit.
Nice.
Well, at this point, I wanted to open the floor to questions because I realized there's some holes in my theory that I have thought of answers for. The one that I will start with, and then you guys can actually ask questions, is how does this age thing work? Bob Dylan is in his 80s, Kanye is in his 40s. If this were to continue and Kanye were to work into his, 70s or whatever, wouldn't this make the man hundreds of years old? I will refer you to I'm sure you guys remember from your religious studies, did you ever hear the myth of the wandering Jew?
No, I haven't.
No? This is something that has been in religious studies and Bible studies courses for hundreds of years. The myth goes as far back as 400 AD, where there has been, various sources from different countries. There is a person who, differing origins, but essentially this person spurned Jesus in the times of, Jesus being alive, and Jesus cursed this man to walk the earth until the second coming. Now, there's been multiple different origins of who this person is. Some people say it was one of the people who spat on Jesus during the crucifixion. Some people say it was Judas, and some people even claim that it was Cain himself, who slew his brother.
This is in the Bible?
And there's This is in the Bible.
Which
There's
book is this one?
various, translations of the Bible. It's again, it depends on translation, because sometimes this gets omitted entirely, but essentially there was a man who Jesus essentially said, I think the translation has to do with the person who, when Jesus is carrying the cross, spits on him and tells him to hurry up, and Jesus essentially says back, now you're going to have to wait for me to come back the second time. You're going to have to stay here immortal until I come,
Curse
for the second coming.
Curses.
Anyway. No. But
Was that your best Wandering Jew impression?
That was my Jesus.
Yeah, I
that was your
doing,
Jesus
Jesus
impression.
cursed this man to walk forever until he comes back.
Right. Well, I thought that was like his reaction to Jesus cursing him. Was like, no, cause you.
Yeah, I guess that was.
No one. But that was.
That was me being.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh my god!
Why did you curse me?
Maybe just 100 years.
He's trying to bargain with him.
But the other thing I thought is what would make this even funnier is that both Bob and Kanye did their Christian phases to kind of bring that second coming faster. They're like, come on, let's get some more Christians around here. Let's bring it on. Let's speed it up. So who knows? Maybe that's why this is an immortal shifting man that also he's had plenty of time to learn how to be good at music, has thousands of years under his belt. Now, the second elephant in the room, I'm sure you're wondering, how can Bob Dylan become Kanye West? They're different skin colors.
I was going to say colors.
Now, I have two. I will point you to Exhibit A and Exhibit B. Exhibit A, have you heard of the person Rachel Dolezal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rachel Dolezal used to be chapter president of the NAACP, essentially did different hair surgeries and skin darkening situations to look darker, was called out for being actually white by her parents. Exhibit B, Michael Jackson. I don't need to say any more.
Nothing?
So all I'm saying is that...
Case closed.
Well,
Kanye and Bob Dylan are the same
but the
person.
question is, like, that would make sense if Bob Dylan stopped and then Kanye began. But there were times where they were out there, not necessarily together, but simultaneously.
Exactly. No, that's not all I have to say. That's my next actually frequently asked questions. How can they both tour separately? Well, it would have been a lot more helpful if every stop they went on in their, multiple 20-year-long tour was at the same city. Yeah. But honestly, if that was true, that would scare the shit out of me. Because then I think, oh my God, I'm actually right.
Right.
No, there's plenty of examples of them being on tour at the same time in entirely different areas of the country. I believe, I have no proof of this, but I believe that BobYe had hired a very talented double as a performer. I don't know if it's a double of Bob or it's a double of Ye, but there was for a time a very talented double that was doing just the live work, not doing any other creative stuff. However, somewhere in the past 10 years or so, a change has happened, because you'll notice in recent concerts of both men, Bob Dylan always has a giant white grand piano on his stage, and he stays behind there the entire time. He never gets up to the crowd. He very rarely gets up and addresses the crowd. Ye, as I'm sure you're aware, has now much more performances where he's wearing a mask the entire time. Mm. And it's for it's for fashion purposes, but it's also to hide your identity. That could be Bob Dylan under that mask.
Can I add something to this? Oh, sorry.
No, let me say one thing, then you can.
Yeah.
I think whatever that double was either fired or died somehow, and now he's kind of having to pull double shifts and have a little bit of smoke and mirrors work to put stuff out there. Okay, go ahead, David.
Well, I was just going to say, to add a little fuel to that fire and kind of back up this theory, and you and I have been to numerous Kanye events, live events. I think I've been to a total of 11 or 12 of his concerts and live showings. I think you've been to like 8 or
Like
9,
5.
5 or 6, something like that. Yeah, because we've been to a lot of those together.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can concur on this. A lot of the times we see, quote unquote, Ye, stage Ye performing, he doesn't know the lyrics. He forgets a lot of the lyrics sometimes.
That's very
And
true.
it's like if he really was a double, maybe,
And to bring it
maybe.
back to Bob, Bob is notorious for years just changing his lyrics, not forgetting it, but having a different verse there where the original verse is. So it's like,
Ye kind of does that too.
and another one, just one more little wrinkle to this. Now, since they're so popular, they're always doing stadiums or
Right.
music festivals. They're always very far from most people who could see them.
That's
So
true.
it could, if BobYe needs a wrinkled old white guy to go out as Bob Dylan, no one's going to call him out and say, that's a different wrinkled old white guy.
Very
And
true.
this isn't really that interesting, but they are approximately the same height. Bob Dylan is 5'6.5". Ye is 5'7", 7.5". So with a good set of lifts, they're essentially the same height.
Interesting.
And now, why would the music industry want this? Easy money. This is the one that gets me. Wouldn't BobYe's collaborators, family, other producers, bandmates, wouldn't they know something's up? That could be true. I think the family might be in on it, because how can you hide that? But also, both these men are incredibly busy. They're always doing something music or other industry related. So if BobYe says, hey, I got to go tour for, a couple months, or Ye says, hey, I'm going to Japan to do something with fashion, it could be he's lying. Could be he's going to Arkansas to play as Bob Dylan. That's all the questions I had covered. But if you guys want to stump me, I can try and pull something out of my ass.
So what?
Does Bob Dylan have any children?
Yeah. I don't know how many, like 5.
Are they named South, Illinois?
Schaumburg. Now I can't remember any of the A's children's names. One of Bob Dylan's sons directed How High, the comedy with Method Man and Redman. But strangely, I don't think Kanye's ever had a song with either of them. So I didn't include that.
Interesting.
Chatwin, you got a stumper for me?
Which do you think came first? Was it Bob or Kanye?
Bob. Obviously Bob.
Well, no, I mean, like, it could...
I didn't think I had to put...
But if it was like a split thing, maybe like Kanye was hiding inside all along,
Oh, kind of. So like how... Okay, that's interesting.
So in this theory, are they one person or two people, but of the same mind?
I had it that Bob concocted this alter ego from scratch, essentially, and maybe did some modifications on the way, but just essentially kind of like how, like a Jekyll and Hyde thing, that Hyde is essentially Jekyll has all the feelings of Hyde, but they're deeply, deeply repressed, and he knows polite society won't accept them, except when the formula turns him into Hyde, and Hyde acts on his id and stuff. Oh shit.
Oh no. No.
Hello, Everything is Everything podcast. I'd like to add another note. Building this fake theory reminded me of the insidiousness of actual conspiracy theories, how it can draw in those feelings lost and alone, and how an overload of information, coupled with specious connections between the unrelated data, can make theorists feel like there's always a way to morph their theory to be correct. These lonely people want a community to share a connection with, and a reason, no matter how strange, to believe that there is more to life than they've been presented. However, almost all conspiracy theories hurt someone else, othering them. In this case, the theory others Kanye West and any musician associated with him, implying his hard work and creativity was the result of an unrelated white man and faceless industry players. In conclusion, conspiracy theories can be entertaining to hear, but giving them any serious thought can be dangerous to yourself and others.
Be gone, FBI! Be gone!
felt like I've been holding my breath for like 5 minutes. What happened? Is my
You did
tinfoil
the
falling
chicken
off?
dance for some reason. It was quite entertaining.
Oh, that explains why my elbows are so sore. All right, I have nothing else. I just wanted to do the YouTube comment game with you guys.
Yes.
So I
Wait,
thought,
real quick before we do that. Speaking of
Sure.
conspiracy theories, do you remember one time you spent the night at my parents' house when we were hanging out, and we had taken some shrooms.
yes, I think I
And
know where you're going with this.
we were hanging out. You were sleeping on the like other like pull out bed thing that I had, and I was laying in my bed,
Yeah.
and I was just like, we were just talking and we're staring at the ceiling or whatever, and I was like, by the way, Eric, I have a theory I want to run by you, and you were like, okay, hit me, and I was just like, dinosaurs are not real, and you were like,
Oh
what?
my God.
And I was like, yeah, man, dinosaurs aren't real, and like. I don't think I necessarily believed the theory, but I was like so shroomed out that I was like, I'm gonna just make this up and talk to Eric about it. I don't know why I had that thought, but I was like, I'm gonna just convince Eric right now that dinosaurs never existed.
And I think you really freaked me the fuck out, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because I actually had some good points, and I was like, why do you think Steven Spielberg is? Look at Steven Spielberg. What are his biggest movies? Sharks, dinosaurs, and aliens. Okay, one of those things. Do they exist? Aliens? Who knows? The other, giant shark, giant man-eating shark.
Exist.
I don't know about that one. And then you got what? Dinosaurs? Come on, Steven Spielberg is in on it. You know what I mean? He's in on this whole thing. And then and the reason I had this thought, because I actually did, something led to this, was I was like, okay, dinosaurs, what, 65 million years ago, trillion years ago, however, billion years ago, whatever it is. How are we finding, like, how do people find dinosaur fossils in their backyard? Like, I understand excavations where they're digging deep into the Earth's crust, but even then, like, are you really digging deep enough to actually find crust and dirt from trillions of years ago?
It's earth science, plate tectonics, and that shit.
Yeah. See, I don't buy it. But anyway, that's what started the theory.
You
don't
don't
buy
buy
plate
plate tectonics?
No, I buy plate tectonics. I don't buy all the bullshit of yeah, but we can dig
bullshit of what?
100 feet down. I just think the dinosaurs would be deeper. I think the dinosaurs would be way deeper in the ground.
I bet they are, but there's also some that are less deep. I mean, that's why there's different periods of dinosaur.
I
and
mean,
think
yeah,
the further back you
I
go,
guess,
the less.
but then like random dude in Arizona finds a dinosaur in his like backyard, bone or whatever in his backyard. It's like, no, I don't buy it. But anyway, so I looked up afterwards, after I like got done explaining to Eric this whole theory, blah, 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 and the next day we were off the shrooms. I looked it up afterwards. There is actually a huge conspiracy theory about dinosaurs not being real, and the fact that they only exist because scientists in the like late 1600s or something like that kind of bored. They were kind of at a plateau. They
What?
didn't really have anything
In the 1600s?
No, seriously, they
They're
didn't have
bored?
anything. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dave.
They had a lot of shit to get done at that
There's a
point.
lot not
but
figured
they-
out.
But they didn't.
They
They
should have
didn't have
invented
the
medicine.
technology. They didn't have the like advancements. No one was like pushing the boundaries, I guess. At
So
that
they were
point.
like making paper mache bones and putting them in the ground.
No, some like German scientists. I think they were German or something like that. This is the theory again.
Of course,
Because there was, of course, the first person to discover fossils, right? The first scientist to discover fossils.
Yeah.
So apparently, the theory is that these scientists that discovered these dinosaur fossils were just bored, had no new discoveries coming out. And again, these are scientists in this specific field, in the bone fossil field. You know what I mean? These aren't like the industry leaders of the world, or the Einsteins, But anyway, what they did was, okay, we want to be the first to discover something new. We want to be popular, famous, blah, blah, blah. Let's go make a scientific discovery. Let's take these giraffe bones from the neck, and let's take these elephant bones from the legs and the body, and these rhino bones and whatever it is, and we put them all together, and we made a new thing. And what should we call it? Dinosaur. And so that's the theory, is that they came up with these, weird looking creatures from different parts of animals. You got it. That's why you have like an alligator looking one, but it has fins and a tail and it swims in the water and blah blah blah. So anyway, there is this huge theory that dinosaurs don't exist. Do I believe it? No, not necessarily.
Not
But I'm just saying-
necessarily. Where do you draw the line, David?
There's
I need to-
certain- Hey,
I want to. I
Hey.
want to reach through the computer
Yeah,
and knock
where
that.
do
flick
you
that
draw
little
the
tinfoil
line?
off
Listen.
your head.
go look up the theory
I don't
that
need
dinosaurs
to
never
look
existed,
up
and
that
you will.
stupid ass gibberish. That doesn't make an ounce of sense.
Look, at the risk of going long,
Uh-huh.
I could sober Rick is a lot less convinced of this
I would take
theory
my
than
tinfoil hat
high
off
on
right
mushrooms, Rick.
God damn.
And it's like, okay, so why are they discovering new dinosaurs every couple of years? There's just like, oh, Spinosaurus, like, oh, that one wasn't.
A good way to like debunk any theory is like, what does anyone have to gain from creating this? And what you say, what they have to gain is they're bored and they need something to do. Go
Yeah.
into a different field of science.
Fame and
Why'd
popularity.
you get into bones
No, it's
anyway?
too late. It's 1600s. You can't go into it. The lifespan
Okay.
is like 30.
Popularity
You're-
is another thing. No one knows who the fuck these scientists are. They're not Einstein.
That's the
they were
point.
scientists.
That's the point. They wanted to be known.
Well, it didn't fucking work. So why are they still doing it?
Well,
Okay,
I don't know.
We're moving
the
on.
ruse,
I got
the ruse
YouTube
is...
comments. Dinosaurs exist. BobYe is real.
All right.
BobYe himself discovered dinosaurs
Yeah.
exist. I could get into that, but I
Yeah.
won't. All right. Instead of the usual quizzes where you guys are going against each other, I thought you guys should team up and you'll go against me, and we're going to be playing something akin to horse, where if you guys get an answer right, you get a letter. And if you guys get an answer wrong, I get a letter. Instead of horse, let's make it BobYe, because it's the same amount of letters.
Okay. But don't you already know the answers to these?
I know.
So
I
if
had
we
to do
get
the math
one-
too.
You are.
What? No, it's just a yes or it's. I'm going to say a YouTube comment, and you have to guess if this YouTube comment was under the video for a Bob Dylan song or a Kanye
Okay.
West song. If you guess correctly, you get a letter. Now, again, you guys are on the same team, so if Chatwin gets one right, you both get a letter. But if either of you get one wrong, I get a letter.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Okay.
So we have to agree on the answer. Or it would behoove us to agree on the answer.
Yes.
It might behoove us.
It would,
Okay.
It would behoove. We literally
It would
can't
be
get it
behooving
right otherwise.
Of us.
I feel like we're getting close to talking about horses again, so I'm just going to join in on the game. All right, question 1 or comment 1. My boyfriend died, and his funeral was today. This song, which he said reminded him of me, was playing as we walked into the service. I felt like maybe it was a little sign he's still here. I feel broken and incomplete without him. I miss him. I love you, Adam. Rest in peace to Adam.
Rest in
by
peace,
the way.
Adam.
Okay. Who's that for?
I'm gonna go.
I would
Kanye.
agree. I think it's Kanye.
You guys got a fucking letter.
Mhm.
Way to go.
Woo! So we want letters. This is not like playing.
Yeah,
horse.
it's like horse. Oh wait, it isn't like I thought in horse you want
No,
to get
no,
horse.
No,
You
you
get
don't want
letters.
the
I don't know
letters.
anything about basketball.
Yeah.
So it's like
Okay,
reverse
yes,
horse.
then you want letters. You want to spell
Yeah.
out BobYe. So you guys got to be.
reverse horse.
All right, we got the B.
Another
Got it.
horse thing.
Damn it.
We are close
It
to talking about
behooves us to
horses.
talk
We were
about
right
horse.
there. It did. It
Oh my
did
God.
behoove us.
I vote nay to any more horse talk.
Nay.
All right. A family tradition for my Jamaican son. His Sam is passed away, but I'm sure she is singing in heaven with the angels. And when, artist name, gets there, oh, what a time. Gabriel, blow your horn.
I'm gonna go Bob Dylan on
I was
that one.
thinking the same.
You guys are good. That's two letters.
The Jamaican was a giveaway.
For
Yeah.
Bob Dylan?
Yeah, they don't like Kanye down there.
I figured it was the Christianity reference. The Gabriels.
Comment 3. All I want to know, where's this party at?
Kanye.
I might go Bob on this one.
We got to be on the same page. So,
I mean, it's not like it's going to be. No more parties in LA. We already know where the party is.
But there's also shoot, the song off of where he's like, I might fuck her at the Vogue party.
All right, it's your funeral, Kanye. Kanye, it is. I think it's Bob though.
I mean, do you know what song it might be referencing for Bob?
I don't know Bob Dylan that well. Yeah, my dad
neither
never
do I.
was
That's the
big
only
into
evidence I
Bob.
have is
He's
Bob
very
might be
East
Kanye.
Coast. My dad's more like West Coast. Not necessarily, but like he never liked Bob, so I never listened to a bunch.
I have evidence for Kanye, but you have a gut feeling for Bob, so I say we go with your gut.
If you say so.
You decided?
All right, Bob.
Bob.
We say Bob.
Good call following chat when it's Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's for his Christmas music video. Must be Santa.
Nice. Always go with the gut
I don't
feeling.
know.
Always go with the gut feeling.
Just sometimes
Good
Bob, he brings a party sometimes.
All right. Don't remember. What is this? Comment 4 or whatever?
Yeah, we got B.O.B.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I haven't won one yet. Jesus.
We only need 2 more. Is there a dash in BobYe, or is it all one word?
Just one word.
Okay. Yeah, we only need 2
But
more.
I capitalized the Y in Ye.
Nice.
Could you believe that they threw I was trying to stop dire market? Man has crazy through about women.
Wait, one more time? Someone having a stroke?
This person, it was written terribly. The grammar is all over the place. Could you believe that they threw I was trying to stop their market? Man has crazy through about women.
Gotta be Kanye.
I'm gonna go Bob on that one. You think? Kanye?
Well, I
All right,
only
let's go
say Kanye because I figure someone who is a little bit more illiterate would probably listen to Kanye before Bob.
Oh my God.
That is racist.
I didn't say what
All right,
what
let's go
race they
Kanye.
were.
Just that people are more illiterate than
People.
Well, regardless, you got it wrong. That's Bob.
I guess
I was
illiterate people can listen to Bob Dylan too.
I'm just glad I got a letter for once. Okay.
That's true. I guess it's not that racist. We're 3 white
Hey,
people.
I
who
didn't
listen
say
to
anything
Bob
about
Dylan.
race. I think it all jumped into your head. I didn't say a goddamn thing.
All right, guys. Calm down, guys. You're both racist. So, next comment. Comment
That's why
5.
we're winning.
Best Christmas song by far.
I mean, does Kanye have
Kanye
a
West.
Christmas song?
He
Really? Which one?
Keep in mind, I did just mention that one of the comments was from a Bob Christmas song. So they do both have Christmas songs.
Well, which Kanye has? I mean, which Christmas song does Kanye have?
There's a song called "Christmas in Harlem."
Is it happy? Sounds sad. I mean, I guess that doesn't mean if it's good or bad.
It's a little sad, but it's.
I'm gonna go with what
It's
you
about getting
think,
back home for
David. I don't know
Christmas.
about this one.
Let's go Kanye.
You guys got your 4th letter, baby.
Nice.
Yeah. Was it Christmas in Harlem?
Yes, it
Damn,
was.
I didn't even know he had a Christmas song. That's crazy.
It was one of the Good Friday. releases.
Oh,
In my opinion, it is pretty happy. It's a very cozy song. It sounds like
Yeah.
snow
Oh,
falling
nice.
down.
Yeah, it's a very cozy song.
I think you'd like it. That's right around Beautiful Dark Twisted
Yeah.
Fantasy era. It's the production's very good.
And the funny thing is, I think he released it in the summer, or sometime around.
Yeah, it was like
nowhere near
October.
really?
Christmas.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Because when he was doing Good Fridays, that was like months before the album came out. So every Friday he would put out some like
Oh
singles,
yeah,
Lucy
I don't
songs.
have any of the Good
Yeah.
Friday singles. That's weird.
I bet David and I could whip up a zip
Yeah,
file
because
for
they're
you.
not on. I don't think they're
But
on
not
Apple
right now.
Music, are they?
They're not. No,
Some of them are amazing too. Some of them are
Yeah.
really good. Christian
Well,
Dior done it.
I'll put that together for you later. Okay, this might be the last question if you guys get it right. I read translation of this lyrics into Polish, and I was blown away by the power inside them. These words are so great.
Bob Dylan. What say you, John?
Damn. I'm just trying. I don't know. I think it's Kanye, but we can go Bob Dylan.
No, we went with mine last time. Let's go with Kanye.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kanye. Just because I feel like it might translate better to Polish versus maybe the subtleties of a
All right.
Bob Dylan song, you know?
All right, Kanye is our answer.
Should have gone
Damn.
with David. That's
Fuck.
Bob.
Yeah, that's okay.
2 letters for the big
What was the
man.
song?
All right. That's a good question. Pay in Blood. I think I put that on your
Oh,
mix,
okay.
Chatwin. Okay. Next comment. Imagine the Beatles singing this.
Kanye for sure.
All right, Kanye.
Nope,
Damn
that's
it.
Bob.
Fuck, he's catching
no
up.
way. Damn it. He now has Bob, and we have BobYe.
Bobby?
All right.
BobYe.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby.
Okay.
Bobby.
This might win it for you guys. I was trying to do all the kind of difficult ones. Next comment. My mom always loved this song. We used to play it in the car on the way to school. She would always cry when it ended. I never understood why, years later. I listened to this song for the first time in years, and it made me bawl. I love this song. It has forever changed my perspective on life.
No more parties in LA.
Kanye. I'm gonna go Kanye for that one.
Yeah?
Sure,
Yeah,
Kanye
you
it is.
concur?
I thought it was Bob. It is? It really is?
You
Nice.
guys win. You guys win. That was a comment on Runaway.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I was thinking it being the mom song.
Yeah,
would have
I was
thrown you
definitely
off,
thinking
but
Bob Dylan.
You guys have won the Triple Crown. You've won the Horse
Woo!
Awards. Way
Woo!
to go.
Woo!
Man,
Woo!
And
unbehooving
that's
believable.
it. That's all it for BobYe. My God.
We did it. Good job, guys.
That
Bob
was-
Dylan would
that was a
Bob-
lot of
Yeah,
fun.
good topic,
Thank you
Eric.
for listening
That
to
was
me.
interesting. I had no idea how similar they were,
It was
Yeah, well,
indeed.
or at least their
Take this
era,
off 'cause it hurts.
their journey of
It's-
music.
Yeah, look, if it gets you to listen to more Kanye or more Bob, that's good for me. If it gets you to listen to more of our podcast, that's really good. That's for the love of God.
Yeah. Admittedly, I'm not too familiar with Bob Dylan, so I'll have to go give
I-
his music some listening.
If I can think of, I'll try and think of a. Oh, you know, I was thinking, what's a song that David would like? There's a song called "Lay Lady Lay"
Ooh,
that
great
Kid
song.
Cudi sampled. Do you remember "I Be High"?
Yeah.
I Be
know.
Low.
Yeah.
That is literally just the instrumental
Mm-hmm.
to "Lay Lady Lay." It was like a real shock when I heard that. I'm like, wait, this is the Kid Cudi song.
Lay across my big brass
I think
bed.
I might have heard that.
Big
I think I
brass
might have heard
bed.
that one.
Yeah, it's a great song.
And now my tinfoil hat has been made into an ashtray.
Hey,
Nice. Yeah, it has a little bit of blood on it.
That's for the flavoring.
Mm.
I kind of like it. I'm gonna
All right,
keep
gents.
it on.
You really constructed a good one. You look
Stable.
like a
Yeah.
Keebler elf.
Yeah, classic
Thank you.
shape for the tinfoil hat. All right, Eric, why don't you
Yeah.
sign us out?
All right, guys, we've had a good time. You've listened to my silly thoughts. And next week, if I am not mistaken, David is going to be teaching us something crazy, I imagine. Something just cuckoo bananas. But until then, we are Everything is Everything, and we wish you adieu. Everything is Everything is an ABD Productions podcast. Executive produced and hosted by David Abdu, Chatwin Cray, and Eric Helling. Video and audio captured by Riverside.fm. If you have any inquiries, please reach out to us via everythingiseverything69@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.